Good afternoon on what is a bright, warm and sunny day. It is Tuesday the 22nd of March and I'm in the Read Nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a parcel to box. So let's get this one open. Okay, I don't know whether you can see that. You might see some of the lettering there. If I look at that the right way. Yeah, I have. Okay, let's pull this out. Bigger idea, let's get this open and have a look. Okay. This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer role-playing game. This was published 2002 by Eden Studios, Inc., best known for the All Flesh Must Be Eaten role-playing game. And this is based on the popular TV series at the time. So the graveyard is cold and still. Bright moonlight deepens the shadows. The silence is stirred by a throaty moan. Breaking through the soft, recently packed earth, the claw extends, sharpening and grasping. A sickly sweet stench rises with the corpse. Desperate hunger is etched on its cadaverous face. A hunger for your blood. So yeah, Buffy. Alright, I get it. You're evil. Do we have to chat about it all day? No, we don't. It's time to slay. Get ready for action adventure, Buffy style. Now you can join the Slayer's Word. Inside these lustrous covers, you will find an introduction to role-playing and the Buffyverse, a guide to character creation, including pre-constructed heroes and white hats, as well as the entire original cast for your quick play pleasure. The Buffy Unisystem, streamlined for cinematic slayage and sneakage, a primer on Magic Mojo for those who dare, a guide to the hotspots of Sunnydale, monsters of mayhem, all settled out and ready to slay, and the skinny on the first 5 big bats. Blow-by-blow instructions for creating Buffy role-playing episodes, seasons and series, a compact episode to get slaying fast and easy, a guide to get Buffy speak to add sparkle to your dialogue. And this is designed by CJ Carrera. And I've been a fan for this a while. I do remember playing it a little bit back, 20 years ago now, because it is 20 years since this came out. And I actually had I would have gone to Gen Con UK, here in the UK, in London. It would have been at Olympia, and I'm pretty much sure that it would have been CJ Carrella who ran a game of this on the day. That was fun. But inside we have the Buffy trade address, as you would expect, and then we get into the contents, basically all the early shots from the series. Heavy use of the stills and so on, the look of the basically from the series, and I've got the Christopher Golden's forward before we get into explaining, what this is all about, what role-playing is, what the role of the director is, game sessions and so on. So, if you're a Buffy fan, you get a decent introduction to what role-playing is, and getting started, and explaining what the Unisystem is. And then, essentially we're talking about conventions, text, measurements and so on, the Buffyverse, cosmology, all accompanied by these extensive, they really did do their homework on this thing. They have these extensive quotes from Buffy, and then we have the summaries. So season 1, 2, 3, just going over what's happened. 4, all the way up to 5, and then some assembly some assembly required. So you're talking about essentially creating characters and assigning characters and Slayer options. So you can of course come straight into this, drop straight in, start playing with the Scooby Gang, but in the Slayerverse of the then, because this is before the final events of the series, and of course of the subsequent seasons which were done by in the Dark Horse comics, there can only be one Slayer. So fundamentally you are a replacement Slayer, or you can have a scope for the basically 3 or 4 or more potentially. I mean, it gives you options for those. And there are the character types, so we have heroes, experienced heroes, white hats, because you've obviously got a scale thing going on in Buffy, where you have Buffy being, the vampire slayer and utterly all but impervious, and then you have Willow as being able to cast magic, and Xander basically being able to do nothing except attempt to be heroic. Again, it's the degree of scale, and they handle that nicely. And then we've got a big list of qualities and drawbacks which you purchase and balance to create your character. So nice and basically it's mostly a point buy system, with some characters getting more points than others. So you've got quite an extensive list of those. Then we've got skills. Not too many of those because it's a fairly light system. It's meant to be fairly light. So artist covers a lot, computers covers a lot, crime covers a lot. So does getting medieval or gun fu. It's how you do it. It's important. And then we've got the archetypes with the original cast. So we have these are. So we've got the hero. I guess there's the replacement Slayer. And then an informer initiative agent, basically armed up with the gun fu there, and then demon hunter. So these are on quite high skill points. Martial artist. So these are all archetypes we can just pick up and play. Watcher, and here we get into the white hats. Basically on supported characters. One of the interesting things is you have drama points here, and that's one of the ways of handling the difference. Is that the heroes have fewer drama points. White hats have more, like psychic, gang member. A Scooby Gang, not necessarily a member of a member of a gang. Football player, hacker. Again, lots of archetypes. I mean, really nice range possible. And then beginner witch, vampire groupie, amateur hunter, and then we've actually got the full stats, full character sheets for the Scooby Gang. So Buffy is a very experienced character type. Similarly, so is Willow, but she is and then we have very experienced white hats. So there's Xander, and then Giles. And then even Spike and Anya So ex-demon and maybe a reformed vampire. Riley and experienced hero, then Oz, and basically it's a white hat, then there's Daniel, the experienced hero, Riley, sorry, white hat, Tara, and Angel, and so on. Basically all the main cast who appeared in the series, Cordelia Chase, and then Dawn Summers as well. So you've got a huge range of characters to choose from and to play, and then we actually have a guide to their seasonal adjustments depending upon when you want to set your campaign, because obviously with this you've got the first 5 seasons to play through, or basically not necessarily play through, but essentially as the setting to do this. Then we get into the rules, and essentially it's a D10 plus skill system, as I remember it, because again I've not played the Uni system for a while, although I've looked at a few supplements. And then we have basically really nice little character sheet, NPC sheet for Joy Summers, Buffy's and Dawn's mother. That's a quick sheet. Again, combat is quite detailed in the sense that you've got different maneuvers, slam tackles, parries, sweep kicks, spin kicks, and potential complications as well. I mean, they might not necessarily be part of your standard role-playing game in that kind of detail, but in a game like Buffy they're kind of important, because it's all about, it's as much about the style as actually doing it. So we've got a list of weapons. Then we've got a sample combat. So that's nicely putting it together. A bit short, but Then we've got the drama point system and how to use that. The drama points are equivalent of luck points or hero points in other role-playing games, and in general they are the equalising factor for white hats versus heroes or very experienced heroes. Then we get on to magic. So this is all if you want to follow in the footsteps of Willow. There's a little guidance there, of course. Research, preparation, spell casting, or spells as a plot point, because they certainly do figure as plot elements in the series. So then we'll do a quick guide to witches and warlocks and the difference. So you can have sorcery and witch and warlock powers, and then creating new spells to go along with the extra spells in the book. And I've got a list of, and I've got a long list of spells. So one of the interesting things about Buffy was always the fact that there was a lot of flexibility in what you did with it. You didn't necessarily have, with later supplements, you didn't necessarily have to delve into the particular setting of Sunnydale. You literally have, basically you take it anywhere, anytime. So if you wanted to do, let's say, vampire hunting in 1890s New Orleans, then you could. There would be a slayer somewhere. So then we get into Sunnydale After Dark, which is a big setting for the series. That's covering various places: Sunnydale High, going to college, party time, University of California, Sunnydale, the cemeteries, Magic Box, which is the Sunnydale's premier magic shop, the Initiative. All this under Hellmouth 2. So there we begin to have the beginnings of the villains, such as Jonathan Levison and Joe School. and then of course Principal Snyder, Amy Madison, but also Harmony. Be a great looking corpse, of course, and more NPCs. Got the full stats there for Joyce Summers, used earlier in the book. And then we've got essentially creatures of the night. So vampires, demons, zombies, invisible teenage girls, and talking puppets. Oh my! So lots there for the referee to bring into play. So got a complete guide to being a vampire, shape-shifting, visions, hypnosis, that kind of thing. Vamp fu for your vampire martial arts. And different stats that go from brand new vampire through minion, veteran, lieutenant, and notable vampires from the series like Luke, all the way up to Darla and Count Dracula. And then demons as well. So demon henchmen, the Judge, all big threats that appeared, and of course that could come back for your player characters to face. So more demons, werewolves, and other shapeshifters. So this is really quite a comprehensive look at all of the various threats that the Scooby Gang or your Slayer, your own Slayer's squad would encounter. Like Daryl Epps, the zombie. And there's also a section on robots. And of course the big bads. So we have the Master and Drusilla, and Angelus and Richard Wilkins III, the Mayor. And then we get into essentially guide for the referee for running the game, and running an alternate Sunnydale or Beyond the Hellmouth, or keeping the cast in town, cast options and so on. Just ideas which you can play around with to create your setting, your version of Sunnydale, tying it into the series or not. So we've got discussion on how to do series, subplots, villains, henchmen and innocent bystanders, all handling that. Designing NPCs, using the earlier rules, dealing with particular episodes, before we get into Sweeps Week, which is essentially a short scenario for ready to play. So this takes the characters back to school. You've got director tips, so it's director, not GM or referee. My bad, as they say. And, complete with their own stats for their bads. And this is a 2 or 3 session scenario where they give the chance to the players to get used to playing, and then we have an appendix with a guide to Buffy speak. Its own list of basically terms and phrases which basically made their way into the game, and then into the series, and sort of like out again. And then the appendices essentially just got the tables at the back. So, but also as well as the rule terms, we've got a nice glossary at the back as well, which big help. So everything in there, and then there's an index as well. and then a couple of adverts at the back there. So yeah, that's the Buffy, the role-playing, Buffy the Vampire Slayer role-playing game from 2002. This was well supported. There was a Magic supplement and a Sunnydale supplement companion as well, and they were all good source material for your Buffy game. And I mean, today you probably wouldn't track this down, although it wouldn't necessarily stop you, but I'm just saying that what you probably wouldn't stop this down, you might want to look at something like Monster Hearts, which does the teenage romance, monster hunting genre, much like Buffy, but is more readily available. In the meantime, there is this 20 years old Buffy the Vampire Slayer role-playing game. Well, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, then please do click the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel and a book or game, which I will talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.